Hello, my name is Constance. The first time I've heard about attention deficit disorder, short ADHD, was probably around July, August 2004. After I found out about it, I looked it up on the internet and I was really surprised because it felt like my whole life appeared in front of me on the screen. So I went to see my local doctor back in Germany, who referred me to a specialist, and finally I got a diagnosis in October 2004. Even though I knew I was always different than all the other kids, I didn't know why, because I grew up in a healthy environment with an intact family and I have great parents. So finally I had an explanation why I seemed to be different than all the other kids, teenagers and even adults. The reason for making this documentary is because there is a common myth in society and even in parts of the professional world that ADHD grows out of teenagers once they reach the age of 16 to 18. But this is not true. Fact is that about 65% of children and teenagers who have ADHD will keep it on into their adulthood, even though symptoms might change.
There's quite a large job to be done in terms of supporting people and training them and educating them to really just recognise and understand what ADHD is in adults.
If I was in a wheelchair, you could see I had a disability, but because it's hidden, no one understands.
I really feel that if I got a diagnosis and coaching like to manage my ADHD, that I'd be so much better.
Before the diagnosis, I lived in complete chaos and disorganisation.
So I'm a professor of psychiatry and genetics, and I've been studying and working with people with ADHD for around 12 years now. We run an adult ADHD clinic at the Maudsley Hospital, and I think it was the first adult ADHD clinic in the UK. Attention deficit hyperactivity disorder is quite a common problem. I mean, has usually in the past been thought of as primarily a childhood problem, where children who have particularly severe and impairing problems with their concentration, with the control of their behaviour, their impulsivity and their level of activity. And when this is sort of quite severe or extreme compared to other children, and where it's causing them to have particular difficulties in their life, we think of that as ADHD. And we now know that the condition quite commonly persists through into adulthood. And around 2/3 of children, have persistent problems that are, maybe not so severe, but the symptoms commonly persist in about 2/3 of children right through into adulthood.
I'm in Everton Park right now, and just at the bottom of the hill, I'm going to meet the Liverpool Adult ADHD Support Group.
Yes, I have ADHD. When my son was diagnosed when he was 5, and I read up more about ADHD, I realised that there was a link, like the missing jigsaw, and I just fitted in to the ADHD criteria. So I've wanted to try and get a diagnosis, but I found it really hard. I think in Liverpool there's not much understanding, and I don't think doctors know enough about it. And I tried to get a referral and they wouldn't refer me because I was in care as a child. The only way for me to get diagnosed is either to go private, which I will do. I'll be going to the Priory in Manchester, but at the moment I can't do that because my life is so busy with my own son. But eventually I will try and get that diagnosis, and I know I will. If I go private, I will get it. But it's just with these doctors who say they don't believe in the condition, it stops a lot of people on Merseyside. At the moment, there's nothing in Liverpool for adults over 18 with ADHD. So I decided it was about time that there was an adult group in Liverpool, and that will be starting properly in about 3 months' time. But at the minute we have got adults coming to the group, but we haven't launched it yet. But we're going to be pretty busy when we do start. I asked my doctor, could she refer me to somebody who specialises in ADHD? She said to me, "You're in your 40s now, why do you want to be diagnosed?" I said, for the simple reason is, I said, I'm not consistent. I change jobs all the time. I go through relationships. I said, my life has been in turmoil because of my ADHD, and I didn't know it was ADHD until I was 40 when Danny was diagnosed. And then I realised, it's not me. I have a condition and I do want to be diagnosed. And, there's got to be help out there for me. And that's why I like a support group, because when everybody's together, we can learn from each and every person, because, they're all individual and they all have their ways of coping. And I think that's a really good way to learn and look forward. And, we have people who have been in the group and their lives have become manageable because they've wanted to get help, and by going to support groups, that seems to have helped them.
My doctor referred me to the mental health services when I went to a psychologist. I was going every week, and he was asking me all questions about right from life when I was a child, and he said that I'm just lazy, and that it is because I was abused and on drugs as a child. That's why I am like I am. But I don't agree that I am like how I am because of the past. Then I waited another couple of years, and I got referred back through the mental health service again to a different psychologist. And he again said that ADHD is just for children, you can't have ADHD. I have heard of somebody that is a colleague of the psychiatrist, but he's in over the water in Birkenhead, and my doctor wouldn't refer me there because of funding and things like that, with it being out of our area. I know, because I did ask to be referred to the Maudsley, and that was just a no straight away. So no, I haven't seen anyone at all that deals with adults with ADHD. I haven't even come across anyone yet. Never spoke to anybody, only the children's ones, like that. I'm really bad with forms and getting around to doing things, and I always put things off, and nothing ever gets done. Although I know that it needs to be done, and the sooner the better. I feel that my ADHD benefits me from if it's something I like, then I'll do it from start to finish. No messing about, no stopping for dinner and all that crap, and it gets done. Like that. I can stick that. So I'm really good at that. I'm an excellent colourer. I'm really good at colouring in. So all the things that I like to do, I'm really good at. Like that. And I think it's because, with my ADHD, other people have to think, oh God, I'll have to finish this now. That doesn't even come into my head. So I just do it, and I'm really good at DIY and anything like that. That is a challenge. If there's no ADHD, what's wrong with me then?